to be. Put it in here. Let's record.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. The world is waking up, and this is the tipping point.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patriot Street Fighters from, again, all over the world, great to have you here tonight. Very grateful for your patronage, all of those who support this mission. I'm beyond grateful, beyond honored. Those of you who are brand new here, this is the hour where we bring information to you on the political side of things, military, or even the spiritual, maybe esoteric side of what's going on in the world today. My name is Scott McKay. And our revolution is known as the Patriot Street Fighters, growing all over the world now. You guys have big reach. This thing is going absolutely insane. I've never seen this thread go this fast. Wow. Scotland, motherland. Nice to see you, Bonnie. Anyways, we're going to move pretty quickly tonight. Got a special guest coming in about 15 minutes. And I did put out a second nudge to you to come on tonight because the intel drop that you're going to hear tonight, I'm telling you, when it came to me today and I read it, I was like, holy Mary, Mother of God, never saw this coming. And this is coming from a very high intel source. And if you know who Kirsten W. is, I call her the crazy Asian. That's what she calls herself. She gets great intelligence from very high level sources because of who she is, because she is Chinese. And of course, she's a wrecking ball when it comes to telling the truth. She leaves no cards on the table. You'll get a chance to see what I'm talking about whenever she pops on here in a minute. But hey, by the way, the new Patriot Street Fighter, this is called Get in the Fight shirt, came in today. Ron sent this out, so get yourself one. This here is actually on the shoulder patch too. So you got a one side shoulder patch. Get in the fight. If you can't see this up close, folks, you've never seen the Patriot Street Fighter Tomahawk. This handle here is actually a rolled up Constitution, We the People. So it's just a cool thing that helps us continue to project our revolution onto the world and bring us all together. What's one thing I wanted to bring up before we get into that particular conversation? I did get two intelligence drops today from my source, who is talking to NSA generals, and one at DOD, Active Military Intelligence. Interesting stuff. It validates what I saw visually. Some of you guys would have seen this as well. Also, I'm going to talk about the GameStop issue that, I'll tell you, man, you talk about being out now, wide open. The criminals, what they're doing, their own rules are being used against them. And when they do, they shut the machine down to save their asses from being stripped of wealth, just like they built their rules to do to the middle class and everybody else out here. It's truly staggering how these people are out there right in the open now. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to keep what they got, just like they did the election. They'll do it right out in the open. They'll fight it right in the open because they can't stop it anymore. They've been drugged so far out into the light If they were vampires, there would be smoking pits all over the place because they just can't hide. They're all over the place, burning up now, and it's great to see that. The worst is yet to come for these people, especially in big tech, in the trading markets, stock exchange, all of it. These people are going to get their asses handed to them in a very big way, and what I saw in the last 2 days is pretty amazing. But if you want to follow us, folks, patriotsriseup.com. You can get us there. ScottMcKay.us, same thing. Either one of those two, patriotsriseup.com. Follow us on social media. I got to take the time to hit the brakes and get some of the other social media links, or I should say icons, in those two locations, because we're going across all platforms, Clout Hub, Gab, everywhere. We're pumping this out. And as you know, they take a channel down, we just come back. It's kind of like those, we're like gremlins here. It's like we just keep multiplying like crazy. They're not going to stop us. You've now seen that my strategy, my information platform, warfare platform here, the new strategy is with these people is that great. I'm going to use them for what I need to use them for. Going to use their compression technology, live streaming. It gives us a broad reach right away because everybody gets a chance to see, if they have the notifications coming out. Got to dim that light a little bit. Notifications will come out if they actually come out. The fact of the matter is these guys have the best platform, the best technology, best compression technology. Great. They don't want our content here. We'll do a live stream. Use that stuff. Everybody here in live stream can see it. Once it's done, I'm taking it down, but I'm not going to take it down before I download it. We'll put it up on Rumble. I'll come back here with a little 2-minute video for those who come back looking for this date, this episode. Hey guys, here we are. You see this special address? I'm going to put a bit.ly address to every one of these things. It's going to be very easy. Bit.ly is when you get a URL for everything. Every URL starts with bit.ly, bit.ly/, and then ours are going to be numbered. PSF, Patriot Street Fighter, this is 37. So I'll come back with that particular URL. I'm going to drop it right here in a short video. It's on the screen. I want to see this episode. Okay, it'll be a little 2-minute video. Get it in there, but I can see it right here. Right, I don't even have to click that thing on now. It'll just say it's on Rumble. Here it is. bit.ly/PSF 34, 37, 39, 40, 50, whatever. We're going to keep this machine moving. As I said before, they hit us again. I'm just going to get more ammo. I'm going to find more battlefields, and this doesn't stop. The censoring machine is not going to kill this revolution. So I talked to my contact out in Las Vegas who's connected to these DC sources, military intelligence, and what he shared with me today is that arrests are happening. They're happening every day. Why we don't see him again, it all comes back to what he and I talked about. I said, I got to deal with people who say, give us your sources, tell us who they are, give us evidence. I'm like, here we go again. So yeah, people give this information when they know that they have a lock and key on their mouth when it comes to divulging who the sources are. So we talked about that today. I said, you know what? I just want to tell these people, every time you go watch the news, do you tell them, give me your sources? Because they always say, sources said, sources said, sources said, I believe them. Okay, I bow out. Too much for me. So all I can tell you is this information for me is secondhand. These people are being arrested every day. There are 2 governments running side by side. There is 2 presidencies like Kim Clement had prophesied before Trump was even elected, when he prophesied Trump would be elected before Trump was even running. So there are 2 presidents. There are 2 governments, basically. And that's why we see in the intelligence drops, our back channel 17, shadow government. Now that applied double meaning. There's a double meaning in many things, and there was a double meaning for shadow government when Obama was running a shadow government on Trump or the cabal. Obama's just a puppet. He's a wind-up toy. If you ever noticed how he ever had to speak to a crowd with 0 teleprompters, none. He was a buffoon. He was a buffoon. No teleprompter, no notes, an absolute buffoon. When they program the teleprompters and he reads them, that's how you can tell who really knows their game. stand up there in front of a crowd, take any policy, public policy, and just go. No cards, nothing. Because it's in your heart and soul, you don't need cards. Reagan was like that. Reagan. I always think these presidents that debate, I thought, this is killing me. It's killing me. I would debate any one of these people over the last. My dad used to tell my dad all the time, I would debate any one of these people. I would debate any one of them. I wouldn't need practice and notes because, again, all these people, folks, have ever done is they do this. In the wind, what's the barometric pressure? What way's the wind going? And that's what I have to tell the people to get them to move in the direction I want. So, anyways, that being said, there was a shadow government, but guess what? Now we have one. All the tables just keep getting turned around on the criminals because what he said that Biden does have some control of a couple things, Department of like HUD and some of these other agencies, but the military is running the defense side. Military, they're running the financial system, and they're also running what other part of the government he said he's running? Commerce. So trade, that kind of thing. But it's commerce, it's financial system, and they're running the defense system. So when I bring Kirsten W. on for you to hear what's about to happen, I can't say that I'm totally stunned because I thought that the repercussions that might happen in Asia were probably likely, but to get this from a very high level diplomat to her, because of who she is. She's been on this battlefield for years. I've seen her all over the place. Charlie Ward shows, she's Ann Vandersteel. She's brought a lot of people into the fold over the years, and she gets great intel. So you're going to hear from her in a few minutes. But when she reached out to me today with this, I was actually doing a show with somebody else, so I couldn't answer. I get off the phone, and I went to look at my messages. And I still couldn't because I had to get on. I was doing it. By the way, I was doing a show with Gene Decode before this, a recording, and Kirsten was there too. And it didn't get finished because he was having trouble with his audio. So I just want you to know that's coming. We just got into it and started talking about the deep underground military bases. So we're going to go ahead and do that, I think, tomorrow and get it recorded and uploaded sometime tomorrow when we're done with that. And it won't take long because I don't have to do much editing. But then she said, have you looked at your emails? And I said, no. She goes, you got to look at your emails. So I did. And I'm going to let her read this intel to you rather than me read it because it's her intel. If I had this intel, I would be the one that would want to break it to the world. I was honored that she sent it to me, like before we even got on the phone. And I could have taken that obviously information, just run with it. But she's gonna get to run this and actually read this for you. We'll discuss it after she does. So those things are happening every day. Arrests are happening every day. You probably saw the video with Roy Blunt coming out of, it might have been the Capitol building, whatever. But when it came out, it was basically showing, look, he's under arrest, Senator Roy Blunt. And I looked at it a couple of times because we've seen this kind of thing before. But there is no way somebody's walking like this with a suit on and you see their arms behind their back. And not only that U.S. Marshal had him by the arm, like you're directing somebody with a grip. You could see that. Nobody's going to walk like that. That guy was under arrest. And I saw Elaine Chao coming out behind him. Also saw Mitch McConnell, which, again, who knows what they're doing. They're likely working with Patriots. If they're not cuffed, they're working with the Patriots, cutting a deal to save their asses because they've been doing stuff in China for a very long time. GameStop. If you haven't seen the news on GameStop, somebody had sent me this morning, and it was I was going to run through it really quickly, but I'll see if I can pull it up easily. But I'm telling you, that information that came out on GameStop showing you how these guys, these criminals, have to shut down anything that's going to put them in a bad light. So, and this is all, the hedge fund market just got its ass kicked. It just got hammered. And it got hammered because, and I didn't know who GameStop was. I know a bit about what it is, but GameStop is a company, and what they were doing was they were shorting. What these hedge funds do is they'll short these stocks, meaning they see that they believe these stocks are going to go down. They'll buy a ton of them. and it'll actually borrow them basically like from a broker. They're basically shorting is borrowing all these stocks from a broker at this cost. They're expecting it's going to drop, right? Or it's going to go up. I'm sorry, expecting that it's going to go up. So what they're going to do is they're going to sell. They're going to have these. They're going to borrow them. Price goes up. I think that's how it works. I'm not an investor guy. So the price goes up, and what they do is when they go up, then they sell those stocks, right? And they have to return, the money of the stock back to where they got them. So by bringing those stocks back, right, then they're going to get a profit. And they're going to hand those stocks back over, right? So I think that's how it works. If they buy them at a low price, if they short them, they buy them at a short price, they sell at a higher price. Is that how it works? Let me think for a second. I read it. They get the stocks at a certain price. They're borrowing them, and stock price, my math isn't working in my head right now. Thanks, Scott. If they borrow these things, they go up in price, then they buy them back. Is that how it works? I got to get somebody to explain it to me because I read it one time. Maybe somebody in here can tell me how that works. Anyways, whatever. Oh, man, it's going through too fast. I want to see if I can see somebody put it in here because this is too important to miss. So anybody who knows what I'm talking about, somebody in here knows. Actually, Ron could explain it to me better, I'm sure. Prices go down. Okay, the prices go down, then they buy at a low price, then sell high. Is that how it is? It's one of those things that happen. They're basically banking on being able to make money on these stocks. Okay, they're banking on the stocks they're going down in price. Shit, I wish I could remember. People know they lock in the high price. When it drops, they sell and get the higher price, get the higher value. I guess that's how it works anyways. So what ended up happening? What ended up happening was, and Kirsten may be able to explain this, what ended up happening was people started buying in the market, like the middle classes started buying this stock up like crazy. And so now it's skyrocketing in price, I think, and then they're losing billions of dollars. And I don't know if it was GameStop that lost 12 billions, but these hedge funds, the buyers started buying it like crazy, start buying it up. So that means that it's shooting the price up. So they have to cover the additional cost of these things, because if they got to buy them and get them back to these people, whoever the brokerage house, that means they got to come up with a shit ton more money. So I think they lost like $12 billion literally in minutes. So what happened was, because these guys were getting absolutely crushed, these hedge funds, they shut down trading. They shut it down early to save their asses. So when you go online and research it, you know what I'm talking about. But this is just another case in point, folks, of how these people set up the system to game you. And then it's almost like the people collectively knew what was going to happen. They're like, hey, let's do this. Let's just all buy the tens of thousands to go start buying the hell out of this stock that they shorted. Let's drive that price up so freaking high, and then they get buried. It's almost seemed like that's what happened, and I have no idea the mechanics behind to make that happen. But as soon as their asses were pushed to the wall, boom, they reached out to Wall Street, shut down trading across all these trading platforms. And again, it's okay when you get screwed and you lose your money, but they sure as hell don't want theirs. Believe me, there's going to be investigations happening. So they shut down to stem the losses, as they always do. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable they get away with this shit. It's just never stops. So anyways, I'm going to go grab Kirsten, get her on the line, because this information came from China, and I want her to tell you herself. So give me 1 second. I'm going to bring her on. Okay, I hope she is on standby and ready. Just going to make sure I join Pops back in here. The generals, I didn't see anybody early on, but the general was on before I brought everybody in. Kirsten?
Yes.
Okay, I got you here. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to join up the general on this call so he doesn't miss anything. Okay, so I just did my intro to who you are. By the way, I'm going to be doing a show with Kirsten on her platform. I think we're going to start next week, but we're going to be doing a show with her now. As I said, she gets great intel. and she's willing to share it too. That's pretty unusual. So anyways, I just laid a little bit of groundwork.
Sundays with Scott McKay. How's that? Sundays with Scott McKay.
Sundays was that we're
At what time were we saying? Was that 12 or 1?
I think it was going to be
12,
it was going to
12
be
noon.
it was going to be 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
12 o'clock. Okay. All right. 1 o'clock Eastern. Okay.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Sundays
great.
we're going to be doing that together. Be another fun time. Got to figure out how we're going to do that live stream on Sundays. Maybe we'll just run with this show because you get the best intel. Don't need to do that on a Sunday night, my show. Anyways, so I told him a little bit about your background and, of course, your reach in getting some great intelligence. So I did let him know that this came from the highest levels in China, and this is going to blow your mind. So probably, Kirsten, when you read through that message, read it in how they addressed you, this mystery contact, and read it through, and then just read it at a speed that everybody can kind of follow and understand exactly everything you're going to say. Are you there? Did we lose you, Kirsten? Hello, hello. Is she looking for it? Kirsten? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? I'm going to take a second here, folks, and see what's up. I might have to make a quick call back, so I don't hear her at all. Would be surprised if they're shutting down comms. I have a couple of these conversations, and it's amazing what happens, how many phone calls it just drop on me. Kirsten, are you there? I'm going to take a chance and see if we can drop that call and go back again. All right. By the way, shills were out and alive yesterday because they were they were telling the world I was arrested. FBI said FBI came and arrested me. So, all right, let's go find Kirsten again.
We did.
I know. I'm going to get her. Hold on. Kirsten, do we have you back?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I was talking and you were there, but there was no sound whatsoever. So, anyways, so start from the beginning where when the person reached out to you, this diplomat reached out to you and told you why they reached out to you, and then read through that. Are you there? Again? I don't think they want her. There she is. Look, she's calling again. Kirsten.
What happened?
I don't know. We keep losing you.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Don't go away. I got to bring the general back in. So hold on a second. I don't know. We're going to get this information out. Trust me, folks. This is going to happen. I'm telling you. I have it, but I want her to read it. You there, Pop? Pop, are you? I'm going to hang up and call you right back. I have to call you right back. All right. So here's how we're going to do this, folks. I'm going to get Kirsten on the line because I can't join this phone call when somebody calls me. So.
Hello?
Okay, now hang on, Kirsten. I figured out. I don't know why. Hold on a second, Kirsten. I don't know why this is happening, but this particular moment, I had to initiate both of these calls. So don't hang up. Please don't hang up. Hold on, Pop. Okay, Kirsten, you're here now. Okay, now I got the general back here. I couldn't have this intel being dropped by you without the general. But so everybody's here. I'm going to say this again. We're live. So Kirsten, go ahead. Start from the top when you read to me why this contact reached out to you with this intel. So just read through it, and then we'll discuss it after you're done.
Okay. Good morning. She must be in Taiwan, I guess. 3 hours ago. Good morning. I am someone in the know appointed and posted to a liaison position in Taiwan, Republic of China. as you know, Taiwan is Republic of China. China is People's Republic of China. That's Communist China, okay? By someone in 45's inner circle, I wish to relay some intel to be useful to you and your audience. You may disseminate this information as you see fit. As one of the few patriots, and then in brackets, he's referring to me, and the only Chinese patriot, I assume he means in the media, with the wit and keen observational skills to realize that Mogul is still, in fact, our POTUS. The fact that you have been the person who has been most accurately described what is happening in the shadows through your guests and intel gathered. And in addition to your perspective analysis of Chinese politics and foreign relations, I believe you and your channels would be the most prudent person and outlets to share this information with. Let me say something. After I got this email, that one big channel was unsuspended from being suspended for months.
So you think they unsuspended that channel for you, so you could probably go
Correct.
on. Okay, gotcha.
So now I have two channels. Let's get to the point. The lifting of some of the restrictions of the Taiwan Relations Act and of course the One China policy was more substantive than it appears. In fact, it was actually the delusion of the Taiwan Relations Act. The United States government is no longer recognizing the People's Republic of China, that is Communist China, as the legitimate government of the mainland. This is being done jointly with Chairman Xi and 45, although this can't be brought to the public light at this time, it will be revealed shortly. Prior to the dissolution of the Taiwan Relations Act, United States Indo-Pacific Command, under the direction of 45 with the Taiwan Republic of China military, have been preparing an occupation force for the mainland when the CCP collapses in the coming months. Why do you think the Taiwan Relations Act was dissolved? If it had remained, it would have been a legal barrier to help the occupation of the Chinese mainland with the Chinese Republic of China forces. That's Taiwan again. You are undoubtedly aware Chairman Xi has been removing key CCP loyalists with the Chinese Military Structural Command. Like I said, translated that means I'm removing the poison from the bone. Why do you think this was done? It was done to install Xi and the alliance and to facilitate the upcoming occupation of the Chinese mainland with the U.S. and the ROC, Republic of China Occupational Forces, that's Taiwan. In the coming months, Chairman Xi will be dissolving the People's Republic of China, stepping down from the CCP leadership and using the Chinese forces to keep order and the Chinese economy from collapsing while the U.S. and the Republic of China, Taiwan, forces install a provisional government led by the Taiwan Republic of China. All of this will be done peacefully, as it will not be that dissimilar to what happened in the former USSR, that's Russia, when it collapsed. 45 remains firmly in control of what is important and our assets. In order for 45 to return to the public eye in the position he has earned, CCP supply chain of influence and resources, that means the mainstream media, have to be removed to facilitate this, and hence why this has been planned all along and will occur before March 2021. As I said, February is buckle your seatbelt month. Buckle your seatbelt. This is also why 45 has been in Florida until now and putting the finishing touches on all the pieces of the proverbial chessboard. All of this has always been 45's plan, to remove the CCP influence around the world and in China. Keep the faith, all is being revealed, and he will give me more.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to summarize what she said because it's a little muffled, obviously, coming through the phone. Okay, so she was referring to Mogul, okay, and this is what they're saying, folks. They're saying with the again, he's complimenting her as one of the few patriots that's only Chinese patriot with the wit and keen observational skills to realize, that's what he's saying about Kirsten, that Mogul is Secret Service code name for POTUS, for Trump, is still in fact our POTUS. And Kirsten is the one who's been most accurately describing everything that's going on here in the shadows through the guests, through the intel that she has gathered. And that's probably why we connected up, because she and I have the same, we have the same vision of what's happening. And when Kirsten, you reached out to me, you're like, you're the male version of me. We see the same thing here. Our analysis is the same thing. But what they're telling her is that her perceptive analysis of Chinese politics and foreign relations is absolutely dead on. Now, here's what's interesting. They lifted some of the restrictions on the Taiwan Relations Act, which is a big deal, because the dissolution of this allows the United States government to say they're not recognizing the People's Republic of China. So what's happening here is that, well, let me just go through a couple points here. What they're using, okay, under the United States, what's called Indo-Pacific Command, and I just mentioned yesterday that General Flynn's brother was elevated to the head of the.
Yeah, Charles.
Yeah, Charles was headed to, or he was put at the head of the Pacific Command now under the direction of Trump, with the Taiwan's Republic of China military. This is outside of the CCP military. This is a Taiwanese Republic of China military. Here's what they're doing. They've been preparing an occupation force for the mainland China when CCP collapses. Do you know what's happening here? You're talking about Taiwanese Chinese forces, United States military forces going into China when the CCP collapses to occupy the place. Same thing that's going here. We've been worried about Chinese forces, 75,000 in Canada, worried about them launch an invasion on U.S. soil. As we heard, I can't verify that, 250,000 Chinese troops in Mexico for a land invasion of the U.S., which they'll never accomplish. And here we are with our assets, naval assets, Marines, Navy, Army over there, ready to take down China's CCP and help them gain control of the country to turn it over to a new republic. They're creating a new republic in China. And I heard this before, just like we are restoring our republic. So and I've been saying this for over 3 years now, almost 4 years. I've been telling people, I've been saying, look, there are 3 people on the world stage that are working together as a trifecta to bring this cabal down. Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Xi, President Xi, Chairman Xi, are working together to bring this thing down. This is the first thing that I have seen. And Modi, India's Modi too, which some people had different opinions of Modi, but you could clearly see when Trump was there, Kirsten, and there were 100,000 people in a stadium, and Modi is embracing Trump, putting his arms around, hugging him in front of all these people. They're going crazy. You can see who the big players on the stage are. And why is India important? And I've said this for a number of years now. India is the potential economic tiger of this planet, more than China. Why? And you may have heard this before, Kirsten, but most people haven't seen it from this perspective. The problem with China is they're a graying society. Okay, they had this one-child policy for so long, and basically it comes down to this: when you have this massive block, this population block that's this big, okay, from that one-child policy, it's a graying society. And now the financial resources to support this aspect of this huge society is only this big. There's just not enough. Hold on, Kirsten. Let me finish this because I got to get to this point. So the point is that even if they could produce the money to take care of all these people, they don't have the human capital. There's not enough people. There's not enough people to have enough doctors and nurses and technical people. Now, the United States has the same problem. We got this big baby boom generation. It's really massive right here, 46 to 64. I'm the last year. The population down here that has to support it is only this big, right? Same problem. But here's where India's power comes in. India has 600 million people under the age of 28. India's India's greatest resource in the future is going to be the export of human capital, because 1/3 of everybody that goes through medical training of any type in the United States is from India. They're going to be exporting Indians worldwide to deliver health care to countries with these massive populations. Anyways, let me just get to the bottom of this, Kirsten, and then I'm going to turn it over to you again. But here's the point. As it says in here, Chairman Xi has been removing key CCP loyalists within the Chinese Military Structural Command. Why do you think this was done? It was done to install Chinese PLA forces with military leadership loyal to Chairman Xi and the alliance, which is Trump and the other countries, to facilitate the upcoming occupation of the Chinese mainland with U.S. and Republic of China occupational forces. So this transition is happening. They're going to take the CCP down, not just here. They're taking it down in China, where that dragon is holed up. And when they bring that all down, guess what? It's going to be like the transition from the USSR to the Soviet Union. Their power's gone. And then Trump's going to come back in the public eye in the position he's earned, which is the presidency, and the CCC supply chain influence, resources, all this had to be removed. All this had to be removed before they can bring Trump in to occupy the position that actually is his. That's why he's in Florida. They're putting on the final touches of all this, and of the as it says here, the pieces they're putting in the right place on this proverbial chessboard. So this has always been Trump's plan to remove the CCP's influence, not just here, but all over the world, including China. So anyways, let me ask you a couple questions on this, Kirsten, because you're from China. You know how these people are.
No,
or you're
Singapore,
you're Singapore.
Colony.
That's right. You're Chinese
From Singapore. We
yeah.
talk like this. Jolly good day.
Yeah. So given your perspective, having grown up in that region of the world, what do you think how the people are going to respond to these moves when they see them happening? Are they going to think that it's going to be? Are they going to see ROC forces moving around mainland China and saying, "Holy cow, we have liberators here"? What are they going to be thinking when this happens?
Well, I think the northern Chinese, which Shanghai and stuff, might be a little happy because most of them have migrated from there to Taiwan. Mm-hmm. The central Chinese from Fujian and stuff, that's where my mother's ancestors are from, also will take it well. The ones that will be a little shocked but happy too will be the Cantonese, which are southern China, that run over to Hong Kong. So, yeah, that's how they migrate. They migrate from southern China, Canton, they go to Hong Kong. Mostly boat people. The ones from central China go to Singapore and Malaysia, where I'm from. It's a British colony. We talk English, British English. And then, of course, the Shanghainese, they migrate to Taiwan. So I think the people will be very happy. The thing that I was going to say to you is the shortage that they have in China is really women. There's no women there. They've tossed all the female babies. It's a whole generation of men. So if you're a pretty girl in China, that would be your top pick. And as you know, the beautiful Fan Bingbing, who was a superstar that they took down and put in a mental institution because she tried to save some of her millions of dollars she was making from sleeping with different Chinese politicians, more money than she ever made in the movies for Transformers, or what is that other movie, the Marvel movie, X-Men, or any of those other movies she did. They caught her, and of course, she's nothing now. They've ruined her. That girl was stunning, and the guys just line up because there's no girls.
Wow, I never thought of that. You think about the competition over there. It's incredible, and
and also, how smart are they? They sent all their forces to Mexico and flexing their muscles, and to Canada. What's there to defend China? There's nothing there. The military's gone. It's like you went on to the left side and they're coming in from the right. You have no idea what's going on. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and just to think, this is all part of the plan that's been in the making. Again, we get caught up sometimes in communists or CCP or whatever. I tell my folks all the time, call them what you want. It's the same animal. It's a Khazarian mafia. They just call it different things. They morph. They change names. They assume new identities. They kill people. They walk into their house, sit at their kitchen table in the middle of dinner after they killed them, and just pick the spoon up and continue on with her taking over somebody's life. So the fact that they've looked at this from multi-decade plan, how to finally corner this tiger and then just kill it where it stands, is absolutely stunning. This is the most unbelievable information that I've heard to date. And the thing that excites me the most is that my intuition all this time for the last 4 years was that she was one of the white hats. Because I said before Trump's election in 2015, I said, you know what? Sean Hannity has it wrong. These guys don't know what the hell they're talking about. Vladimir Putin, and I put it on Facebook, Vladimir Putin is the only noble leader on the world stage. Because if you look how he's conducted himself the whole time, he's never taken over other countries. The guy's an attorney. They've never broken international law. Now, the world will tell you different. The news will tell you different. You know, Fox will tell you different. It's all bullshit. It's creating a big bad wolf, while the whole time they were hiding everything that they were doing with China, in China or Ukraine, and making it look like she was the communist bad guy. I had that instinct that, or maybe just an intuition, that there's no way on the chessboard. It makes no sense for what's happening and for Xi to be actually working to undermine Trump. Hence, why did he go to the Forbidden City? Allow him into the Forbidden City. That's not, Kirsten, has that ever been allowed in China's history ever?
When you say Ukraine is really basically an extension of China, because China has pretty much bought up Ukraine. They have 3 things they offer in Ukraine. That would be gas and oil. They bought that up. They have Intel. They bought that up. And they have plane. They have what do you call it? They make planes. They bought that up too. So when the Chinese Intel from Miles Kwok, who is Mr. Steve Bannon's billionaire, his guy gives it out and says Biden got $4.5 billion. That would be the amount that he got from China and Ukraine that's owned by China pretty much. China pretty much bought up most of Ukraine, $4.5 billion. That includes money that they get from killing off their own billionaires and then having Biden help them with the assets in America to seize those assets, and they give him a cut just like the mafia does for helping them seize the American assets of the Chinese billionaires, like the guy that was in CEFC, that energy company that Mr. Hunter was in. Those assets were all divided up too.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, they've been buying up a ton of stuff here. It's been pretty obvious to the world. But anyways.
But they're going to lose it all.
Pardon me?
Yeah,
they're going to lose it all.
They're going to lose it all.
they're going to lose it all. Yeah,
they're going to lose it all. They're going to lose it all.
Yeah, because of the executive order.
They are just pushing too hard. They want Taiwan so badly, and they're not looking at in their own front door, and all their troops are gone. Trying to take over Taiwan when Taiwan's going to help America occupy communist China. Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, so now this source, obviously, its source is going to continue to bring you some intel, am I right?
Correct. I have about 4 sources, so that would be number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always think, that girl's pretty. You know, she was a model, so, no one's going to suspect her. And, my channels got all taken down.
Right.
And I have 2 left, but, they don't suspect that, thing, but now they know. They know, yeah.
Well, that's as good as it gets. Anyways, Kirsten, I really appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing this information. It's pretty wild stuff. Absolutely wild stuff. Unbelievable.
And I really appreciate us doing the show with Gene tomorrow, and I appreciate you coming on Sundays, which will be fantastic.
You bet. And folks, in the description box, you'll be able to access everything to any of Kirsten's work. Is there anything you want to just shout out there, like a website or anything, Kirsten, if they just want to pull it up right now?
I mean, I have 2 YouTubes, so I don't know how long they're going to last. I mean, main thing is come to inksocial.net, INKDsocial.net, no apostrophe, no E. INKDsocial.net. Scott's going to be there. He's going to have his own group page, and he can upload his stuff there that will never come off. And that's my home, so I'm never going to leave that. Of course, I'm on YouTube. I'm on BitChute under Kirsten, CirstenW. I'm on YouTube on CW Connect, which has just got unfrozen after I got this material, and the other YouTube, which is, and I'm on Rumble that I don't even know how to use that well, under Kirsten W. And the other YouTube is One True News on YouTube, so that's a smaller channel. So, yep, I hope that Scott will bring it over to Ink Social. You guys can communicate with him there, and he'll have his own group page. So we're looking forward to working together. I'm so glad to have found him, and I'm very honored and to say that we're very similar. So it's great. And I think when the guy was writing the email and he mentioned that I had guests and stuff, he was referring to Scott.
Well, not sure if that's true, but I'll take it, scrape it up, whatever I can get. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kirsten. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you tomorrow when we get back together with Gene Decode.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Believe me, all my pleasure.
Okay. 再见. 明天.
Bye-bye.
再见 is goodbye. 明天 is tomorrow. Okay.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Could have did that in English because my English is great. So, folks, I'm telling you, when she read that to me and sent me, I was going through the email after she sent it to me, but just to think about the ramifications. We've been trying to protect Taiwan from mainland China, communist China, for decades and decades. We're ready to fight a war in the Pacific theater to protect Taiwan. Now, behind the scenes, we got Taiwanese army and Taiwanese. No wonder we're selling them weapons, because guess what? They're the weapons we're going to be able to use if we actually need them. But to me, what is this saying? That Trump, POTUS, is still in control. Actually, the military is truly the one in control. Trump's just initiated those actions so they can do what they need to do. In fact, somebody just asked me here, I want to answer your question. Did I lose it? Asked who's controlling FEMA. I wanted to mention your name. It's a good question. I wanted to mention your name, but I just lost it. Sorry. Anyways, there it is. Chris Prince. Yeah, Chris. The way the structure's set up, when the Insurrection Act is invoked, the military has to conduct military operations. So there's got to be another faction. Military operations are what they are. They're elimination forces. They're not a police force. They're an elimination force. So they're too busy dealing with that. You bring the politicians in to run the political side. You can't mix the two of them. Unfortunately, when you do, you get a lot of deep state generals who become politicians and they leave the battlefield. But so the agency that handles all that, and its charter is exactly for that. It's not even a charter because it's not legally chartered in the United States anyways, but its functions are that FEMA will fill all these particular agency positions that need to be filled when there's no other shadow government or lateral government, which is what we see now with the Biden camp, the Biden regime, whatever you call them. But again, to me, same thing. They're controlling both sides. They're controlling. I'm going to say this until somebody eventually proves that in the end that I'm wrong. They are controlling the other side. They're controlling the Biden camp. They're basically making that camp do what they want them to do according to the plan that they had to inflict on America. Like, here's your plan. Here's your playbook. We got it. 16-year playbook. Right here's where we are. We're in this chapter in the second 8 years. Carry it out. Do what you're going to do anyways, because they want to show the people what they were going to do. And I said this earlier. How do they show the people the depth, the evil of this cabal, unless Trump's quote unquote out of power steps aside, completely insulated, has nothing to do with him, and we get to watch what these people are trying to inflict on the country. And by the way, I stand corrected. A couple people in this thread yesterday said there are jobs being lost in a pipeline. They're absolutely right. I was wrong. I questioned it, but I got some evidence today. There's people being laid off. And there's another faction of one of those executive orders that affected somebody else. I can't remember now at the moment. But again, if you remember, you were here yesterday, you're dead right. Absolutely right. There are two factions of people that are losing their jobs because of these executive actions. But it's going to take them taking us down this road before people get so pissed off at exactly what the Democrats have planned for the country for them to say, I get it now. I get it. They got to go down. And then they'll show everything else that's coming out. More of the D class is coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there tonight so we don't ramble onto anything that irritates some of the shills, because it gives them, they have a lot of fun, believe me. I got to figure out how to get, and I'm going to figure this out too. I'm going to get moderators in here to just start, just bang, click. They see these knuckleheads, click, click, click. I probably need about 5 at a time so we can just get them the hell out of here. And we have 50 moderators in the new. What happened, folks, with the Patriot Street Fighter group chat? Okay, we have 2 channels. We have the broadcast channel that I just put stuff out there, and it hits that chat box so you can see what's going on, where we are, what's happening for the day. And then we have the group chat where everybody can respond, communicate with each other. And again, it's always their weapons that they have. Throw porn in there until it triggers these algorithms to shut that chat down from being able to be read on an Apple device. There's a way around it. I dropped it in there once. How you go online to the website. It's web.telegram.org, and you can go to settings and you can figure out where you can block that kind of content, and it allows you now to see all those drops again. But what Ron did was he created a second one. I think the first one was like Patriot Street Fighter Chat. This is going to be Patriot Street Fighters, which is you, and it's a new one to clear all that stuff out. Because once it hit that number, like 10,000 people, roughly, when that stuff started happening, then they started kicking people out, or they blocked how many more people could come in. I mean, we got 120,000 people on the broadcast and 10,000 on the chat. So that's how he's going to open that up, and he's going to put that out there so you folks can migrate over. I don't know if he can migrate that group chat over into the new one, or if you have to go over there and find it and just click on join that and get rid of the other. We just shut it down altogether. So having said that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. That was the big intel drop for tonight. Mind-boggling to me. Never saw that coming, but that's the most exciting thing that I have heard yet. So tomorrow night, I think I'm taking Fridays and Saturdays off tonight now, folks.